Alrighty, everybody, Snow White has come and gone, but there is another live-action Disney remake to talk about. Let's talk about the 2025 live-action remake of Lilo and Stitch. Now, this is going to be a non-spoiler review. I'm not going to do a spoiler review for this because I don't know if there's as much to talk about in spoilers as with other movies. Plus, this is based off of a beloved animated classic, so this is perhaps... I wouldn't say this is a spoiler, but I would assume it hews pretty closely to the original film just based on what I've seen. And so, again, this is going to be a non-spoiler review, but I'm going to talk about things that I like, things I didn't like in the movie, and all of that kind of stuff. So that is what this is going to be. But guys, Lilo and Stitch is a movie that, honestly, to me, when I was looking up and doing my rankings for most anticipated movies of 2025 and thinking about movies that I'm very much anticipating and looking forward to, Lilo and Stitch was definitely on the list of movies that I wanted to see in 2025. But it wasn't really close to the top of, I'm so excited for Lilo and Stitch. And part of that is because I have not seen the original animated movie in a long, long, long time, if not ever. I'm sure I've seen it at some point as a child, but it's really been forever since I've seen the movie. And I have no recollection of the story or what I thought about it or anything like that. But, with Lilo and Stitch, they're so iconic in the pop culture zeitgeist, especially Stitch. And the way that they've been able to incorporate Stitch in this kind of guerrilla marketing campaign, I would watch a movie called Stitch in the Multiverse of Madness. In fact, I was on Instagram and I've seen clips from the original animated marketing campaign where he was in, they inserted him in famous scenes of all these Disney animated movies like Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin. I think that's awesome. And I've seen that they've been doing things like that this year with the Super Bowl. They had a really fun Super Bowl commercial where Stitch was on the field and he was running around being chased by the refs. And that's awesome. I love that kind of stuff. And I would love to see, honestly, a separate movie, if they wanted to do it, where Stitch just goes around Disney IP, kind of like Wreck-It Ralph style. This is all just a complete aside. But let's talk about the movie Lilo and Stitch, the 2025 live action version. And again, I have the background of not having seen the original, if ever, for a very long time. So I just went into it thinking, I think Stitch is adorable. He's a little rascal. And let's see what we got. And guys, this is what I love about being surprised. Lilo and Stitch might be my favorite movie of 2025 thus far. Now, I haven't seen every single movie that's come out. I've seen almost every single big release. I haven't seen Sinners yet. I am planning on it as soon as it leaves theaters because that doesn't seem like a movie I personally would want to watch in theaters. It seems a little too scary for me. That being said, I've seen most of the major movies in theaters, and Lilo and Stitch, guys, I genuinely mean this. This movie might be my favorite movie of 2025. We talked about a Minecraft movie a few weeks ago, and the only reason I bring it up is because these are both movies designed, quote unquote, for kids. If you're going to advertise it, it's in the kids demographic of movies, if you will. And I think that, it's a contrast. It's a huge contrast as to what each movie is aiming for and what each movie is able to deliver, because I obviously am not a kid anymore. But, comparing those two movies together, it's an exercise in thinking about a Minecraft movie is so uninterested in appealing to adults, and it's fine. It is what it is. It's just going to entertain kids for an hour and a half. But Lilo and Stitch, I know, again, we have to have this discussion every single time I talk about a live action remake, because yes, you're adapting really beloved animated movies, and the conversation of how good can it really be, or how much worse rather could it really be based on a classic. But then again, I thought about it, and I liked the live action Lion King. I didn't love it particularly, and it's based on one of the best live action or best animated Disney movies ever made. And there are films like Jungle Book, which I love, and Aladdin, which I love, that I feel like elevated the material to a different level for me personally, right? I know different people have different thoughts on this. And I'm happy to say, I think Lilo and Stitch joins the ranks of those top tier live action remakes. I think that it's so impressive what they're able to do with especially the young girl who plays Lilo. I don't know her name, but I'm just so impressed because yes, she's young. She's really young, right? And so you just can't expect her to carry the weight of the emotional weight of the movie, but she kind of does. A lot of credit goes to the young actress as well, who's playing her sister, Nani. She does a fantastic job. In fact, I think more of the emotional, quote unquote, adult themes, and by adult themes, I just mean, there's some things in the movie about family and about losing your job and losing your home and even death a little bit. And I think that, those things have to be carried by the older sister, but the little sister has to carry the weight of needing a friend, right? And she does a great job. Not to mention, I don't know how they filmed this. Maybe they had an animatronic. They might have. But I have to imagine that it's so difficult. Maybe it's easier for kids, I don't know, to pretend that you're talking to a fake animal. But it's I would imagine that there were some scenes where she just had to act to nothing, and it's just so impressive what she was able to do. I was continually amazed by the realness that I felt with the characters of Lilo and Stitch. Speaking of Stitch, he's just, he is causing mayhem and mischief everywhere, and you just feel the character's emotions, especially the older sister, where you're like, oh my gosh, can you please just not do that anymore? But he's so adorable, and he learns and he grows, and that the characters have growth in this movie. There are some really fun scenes as well in there. You get to explore Hawaii a little bit. I don't know what to say. I don't remember the original animated film, like I said, but so again, we have to have the discussion of, well, if it just copied the original animated film, then obviously it's going to be good. Okay, maybe, but I still think you have to execute on that premise, and there's just this warmth in this movie. There's this heart. There's the idea of, family, and I know that that's what the original animated movie was about. I remember that. Ohana means family. I of course remember that, but it's just a joy to come out of the theater, and I felt a similar way about Paddington in Peru, and honestly a little bit less so. And I happen to think that this movie might be my favorite movie of the year thus far. It's crazy to think that heading into the year, but I just love being surprised in this way, and I think that the emotions were there, the laughs were there. There are some genuinely funny scenes in this movie, and again, I'm saying this as someone who's not a kid, because I know there were scenes where kids laughed, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a joke aimed specifically for kids. But it just hit me in all the right ways, and I'm very, very glad that I went out to see this movie on opening weekend. Guys, have you seen the live-action Lilo and Stitch movie? Again, if you asked me before 2025, I don't know what I would have thought about this movie. I probably would have said, yeah, it's probably going to be a cute little movie, but I don't know if I would have said anything more. I would have expected anything more. And here we are, and I loved it. So guys, this is a wholehearted recommendation for Lilo and Stitch. Go out and see it, and let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below.